the other side of the Hudson will say, let's bring it to the stage. Elaine Witch. Elaine Witch.
Woo.
But yeah, I just turned 69.
Woo!
And when I pull out the candles, I wish for 69. Woo! Elaine, we're telling a dirty joke. What do you think, my fans, my two fans from Red Hook, Brooklyn?
Yeah.
I come out with a different song and then I tell a dirty joke opening up. I'm a different person. You know, they say when you get older, what do they say? Women start their sexual peak at 60 and men 40. No. They're gone. Wow, I scared them away. Woo! No, men started with the, well, it stands to reason given what Carolyn just told us about the MILF and the young man and the, okay. I think I'll come out again. Hi everybody, here's my old-fashioned song again that I used to, you don't know me, so I used to play a different song because Johnny Carson's show was the theme that I come out with usually. And then I said, I wrote some jokes for Joan Rivers that she told on The Tonight Show. So then people say, wow, that's impressive. And then I say, I signed a 6-page contract saying I'll never tell those jokes again. But she died. So I thought I could now tell the jokes, but her lawyers are still alive. So I still can't tell those jokes. And they were dirty. Yeah, they were dirty. Thank you. So, I'm not the love child of Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow. But the other day I was in the audience and the comedian said I look like Ruth Bader Ginsburg. So I have a new opening line about, you know, instead of Barbara Streisand and Barry Manilow, Ruth Bader Ginsburg. I came all the way from Queens. You could almost chuckle, sir. No. It's okay. I was a school teacher, as Ricky said, in a really tough school. And I was thinking today, because they have such a beautiful bathroom here, you know, the kindergarten bathroom in my school, and I swear this is true, in the lunchroom, I mean, it's for the kindergarten, first grade children, the elementary school children. I swear it has a lock on it. The toilet roll has a lock. And I know they don't have any garbage cans in the bathroom, in the 6th grade bathroom anymore, because this girl, I don't want to say her name, Chris Platt, she started a fire in the bathroom, and ever since then, there are no garbage cans in the school bathroom. And you know, you take these things for granted till you retire, which I did, and I chuckled to myself at the things that happened in my tough school. You know, sir, you walk into the school and you see the school colors, black and blue. And when we were little, we used to carve our sweetheart's name in the wooden desks. These kids carved their sweetheart's name in their sweetheart. I had this little girl, she was very entitled, like she cried when she didn't get her way. She was very spoiled, unusual, you know, different type of kid than I'm used to. And her father came to parent-teacher conference, and this is true, I could have gotten fired probably for saying what I said to her. So her father came to parent-teacher conference, first time I met him, and he had her name tattooed in script on her neck. So I'm thinking to myself, that explains a lot about why she always wants her way and she cries when she doesn't get it. Well, the next day when she pulled one of her spoiled tactics, you know what I said to her? I swear I said this. Unlike your father, I don't have your name tattooed on my neck. Not funny? I better try these jokes before I come to a 100-person theater. I better go to the open mic in the basement in Greenwich Village tomorrow at 4:30 to the women's mic. Before I try them on the road in New Jersey, Vicky's never going to invite me back. Told a dirty joke. So I want to tell you what happened. I go to Manhattan a lot, Midtown Manhattan, and there's this man in the food truck, and he says he loves me, he always calls me my pretty. But the trouble is there are 3 different men, and I don't know know which is the one who loves me, but they're all very nice to me, and I give them a tip. But I so appreciate that these men are in a truck that, like, the size of this carpet. They have French fries, salad, every kind of dressing. They have lamb, chicken, they have hot dogs, and they have drinks. They have, he has a lot of things, and I so admire him. And he's there 7 days a week, except for Saturday. He has what I'm going to call my stepson there, because he has a teenager in there. And since he loves me, he probably wants to marry me. And I do admire him. He doesn't speak my language, but I think that would have us get along better. We wouldn't bicker over everything. And he wouldn't be a couch potato coming home at 6 o'clock every night, ragging me and expecting me to make dinner, because he has everything right there. He works in every kind of weather, and he stands there in that small little place, and here's what kills me the most. I think he has a wife on every corner, not just in Manhattan, but in every Middle Eastern country around the globe. I do. It's not a good attitude to have. I don't trust this man. Or men. There are 3 different ones. I'm not sure which is Abdul, Muhammad, or Kaleem. I'm not sure which is mine. But, see, now that got a laugh, Mickey. I'll try that next month and the one after. Every quarter when you come to the show, ask them. I have the same joke. So this is different. So anyway, the thing is, my friends, they are princesses and they will live on Long Island, and when they turn 50, 3 of them, their husbands bought them or made for them brand new kitchens with sunroofs and those, what do you call those closets that swing around?
Swing around closets.
I said that, Carolyn or somebody else, a wiseacre. Anyway, I'm showing you how fancy their kitchens are. And do you know what every one of my friends make for dinner? They don't cook 7 days a week, except for when my stepson is there. Sick, every kind of weather, 24 hours a day. You know what they make for dinner? Reservations. That's not my joke, but that's what they make for dinner. So I so admire him, and next time, if I come in here with a guy who looks like his name might be Abdul or Hakeem, you'll know that, number one, I can tell the difference, and he broke away on a Saturday night, because my stepson took over. So thank you for listening to that story. Now I want to talk, maybe I should go back to my good material that they laugh at, Mickey, so, since you don't know me. But then you have to hear it again. I can just stop, like Mick Jagger does when he's singing Satisfaction at a concert, and they'll say my joke. Did you know I was at Woodstock, and 50 years later I was at Desert Trip? Let me tell you about that. So I went to both concerts 50 years later, and boy, have times changed. Except Paul McCartney. Maybe I'm amazed, Paul. You could walk down the stage, stand there for 3.5 hours. I could barely get up here, climb with my knees. And like they had a tent at Woodstock for bad acid trips. Were you there, sir? Is he still there, the guy? Anyway, they had a tent at Woodstock for bad acid indigestion. And when we were at Woodstock, my friend had a VW bus, and the sign on it said, "Don't come a knocking if this bus is a rockin'." But at Coachella, that's where it was, Desert Trip, the bus sign said, "Don't come a fussin' till I've had my Robitussin." And 3 people lost their virginity at Woodstock. 3 people lost their dentures at Coachella. And Bob Dylan, what a trip. It's called Desert Trip. Bob Dylan was playing at Woodstock. And then at Coachella, I hear Blowing in the Wind, the curtain goes up, I see the whole band there. I don't see Bob Dylan, but I can hear him. And the song's almost over. But I see this lady, she looked like my Aunt Esther Greenbaum, with gray hair, a hat, playing the organ. When the song was over, guess what I found out? Bob Dylan has arthritis, and that was him on the organ, not my Aunt Esther Greenbaum.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so there is a difference, because at Woodstock, who saw the movie Woodstock? Right? Remember the part where Arlo Guthrie says, "The freeway's closed, man," famous part of the movie. The same thing happened at Woodstock, where they got out of their cars and they walked to the concert. So we got out of our vans, pressed the button, our wheelchairs came down. Thank you. Mickey, if you put the light on to take my picture or to tell me to get off, I can't see it, so.
It's all you. Whatever you want to do.
What'd he say?
Whatever you want to do.
You know, when you're 69, like my hearing's going, Carolyn whispered something in my ear, I couldn't hear, and I can't see without my glasses, I'm getting so old. I'm going to tell you how old I'm getting, sir.
How old are you?
Thanks for asking. You know, I'm from Queens, as he told you, and if they had these bags in the Rockaways during Hurricane Sandy, the F train never would have stopped running. And I have like parentheses here. I have
Exclamation points.
Thank you. Here, and I have pound signs here. I'll just lay down, you can send a text message on me with my, what kind of phone?
Android.
Yeah, which is the one that broke 6 times. See, I pay attention. But really getting old. I try to have a sense of humor. I'm losing my hair, you can't tell. Sir, you can't tell. I'm losing my hair, but I know where it's going. It's going to my knuckles. Carolyn was talking about the menopause. You know, when you're young, like the lady from Red Hook, when you're young, you're thinking, I can't wait for the change. I'm so sick of the PMS and the cramps. So then what happens? The change comes along. Then you got the mood swings. You got the hot flashes. You know what I say to you young ladies? Menstruation, menopause, those were the good old days.
Who knew?
Who knew? I got a heckler here. Do you know how many tolls I had to pay for to come in? And the pen is so, you know, it's a joke. No, I love coming here, I really do. In fact, I have to acknowledge Mickey and his friends. We tripled the size of the audience tonight. Did you realize that? Let's hear it for the audience.
Yay!
You can just imagine who I talked to the last time. These 3 right here and these 3. No, it's great, Mickey. You have a lot of people here tonight. I mean, this is like Shea Stadium for a Queens girl. Look at all the people. Shea Stadium, they changed the name now, too. But anyway, I was telling you how old I was getting, and, yeah, I didn't forget my joke. I didn't forget it. But, you know, you heard of the information age, we're all part of that. I'm heading for the inflammation age. The cuckoo on my biological clock is wearing depends. Yeah, getting older. I was married twice. I was married to a Jewish guy first. I'm Jewish, and we had 2 New Years. And you know what? I'll tell you this about Hanukkah and Thanksgiving was once on the same night. It's hard to believe that Hanukkah was so early, but Hanukkah and Thanksgiving were on the same night, and I loved it. I wish I was still married to that guy. You know why? My mother-in-law would only come over once that season. Yeah, she only had to come over once. But then I was married to a Chinese guy, and people say, what's the difference? No difference, they're both cheap and dry terribly. But we had 3 New Years. First we had the American New Year, and you have fireworks. Then we had the Chinese New Year, fireworks. But for the Jewish New Year, there were no fireworks. Unless you eat my Esther Greenbaum's, what do I call that? Gefilte fish. She's laughing, she knows my jokes. Unless I eat my Esther's gefilte fish with a lot of horseradish, then I have fireworks. But I did the online dating, but I met this guy through a blind date. And he takes me up to his apartment and he shows me his singles ads. And I'm thinking, why are you showing me these when I met you through a blind date? I don't have to see that. But he showed it to me, and it said that he loved long hikes. Wait a minute, we were just in the lobby of your building on Bragg Street, pressing the elevator to go up 1 flight. What kind of hiking do you do? And Bragg Street's in Brooklyn. I don't think he should live on Bragg Street. He had very little to brag about. But around the way from Bragg Street is Knapp Street. I think he's better on Knapp Street. So I met this other guy from Brooklyn, and it said, loves romantic horse and buggy rides. Hello, you're not Amish, you live in Sheepshead Bay. These guys are too much. One of them said he showed a picture of himself and he described himself with having black hair. No, your hair is white. And then they said something like, I love the English language, but they were grammatical. I can't.
Grammatically.
Incorrect. Yeah, see, I shouldn't talk about his ad because I'm screwing up the joke pretty bad. But I want to tell you about, Mickey, you're from Queens, right?
Right.
Well, in my gym, there's a woman, because parts of Queens are very crowded. There's a woman who lives in my gym. I'm suspicious that she lives in the gym, and I'm going to tell you why. She walks around the women's locker room like it's her living room, and she's walking around naked, and she uses the hairdryer to dry her hair, which I'm making fun of her, but I started doing that at the railroad station. She takes the new kind, you know, and she dries her hair, and she uses the whirlpool as like a social hour to meet people from different parts of the country. But here's the not country, but people from different parts of the world. We have an international steam room where I go to the gym in Queens, but here's what kills me. She sleeps in the locker. Now you're wondering, how could someone sleep in a locker? I know how she sleeps in the locker. She either sleeps in the locker, curled up sideways in the half locker, or she sleeps like a mummy in the full locker. She lives in the gym. You know, in Flushing, it's so crowded. I had a great idea to make some money. I was getting a new stove, and Sears was taking a week to put in my new stove. So when I live by myself, I use a microwave or I go out to eat, and there was this space where the stove was. And I looked at it, and what do you think I thought? I could put a family of 5 in that space. Thank you. I saw a bumper sticker on the Long Island Expressway that said, "My boss is a Jewish carpenter." And I thought, oh, look at that, he works for my father's construction company. You ever see that commercial that says, just because you're a victim doesn't mean you have to suffer. It does. That's what a victim is. Thank you. I'm doing one-liners now, like Mr. Vic, Sick Vic. I love that. No, I love how he I said to him, how do you memorize all those jokes? I'm very much enamored by that. I'm serious. See, I said something serious there. Do you want me to tell you one more story, Mickey?
Go ahead.
Okay. I was telling you about my tough school. You know, they want teachers to carry a gun. Not a good idea for me, you know. I don't think it's a good idea, but either way, either if I was a good shot, it would be bad, and if I was a bad shot, it would be bad. I don't think that's the joke, sorry. I forgot that punchline for that joke, but they have this thing called participation trophies in the schools now. It means every child gets an award no matter how well they did in school. All they have to do is show up. And I'm thinking, that would have been good on both of my honeymoons. They showed up and very little was accomplished. Well, thank you very much.